Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Noir Histoire. I'm Natasha, and in this episode, I'll be sharing what I've learned about Jacob Lawrence, born on September 7, 1917, died on June 9, 2000, notable artist, nationality, American. Jacob Armstead Lawrence was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey, the first of Rosalie and Jacob Lawrence's children. His father supported the family as a railroad cook, but relocated the family when he was 2 years old to search for work as a coal miner. They settled in Easton, Pennsylvania, and remained there for 5 years until Lawrence's parents separated when he was 7 years old. Following the separation, the family moved without Lawrence's father to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where they spent another 5 years. Some sources state that he and at least 2 siblings were placed in foster care while their mother looked for work. They then relocated to Harlem, New York to join their mom, where Lawrence would spend a significant part of his life. His arrival in Harlem coincided with the Harlem Renaissance and the beginning of the Great Depression. Lawrence attended PS 89, located in the heart of Harlem at 135th Street and Lenox Avenue, and an after-school program at the Utopia Children's Center. It was at that program that Lawrence's talent was first noticed by Charles Alston, who managed the center. Lawrence worked on a drawing project outside the program, focused on geometric patterns. Later, he began painting on his own while attending Commerce High School. Unfortunately, Lawrence had to drop out of high school after 2 years as he needed to work to help support his family. This was in the midst of the Great Depression and after his mother had lost her job, which created financial issues for the family and resulted in them applying for welfare. Temporarily relocating to upstate New York, Lawrence participated in the Civilian Conservation Corps. Members of the Corps were employed in various public works projects as with other New Deal programs. Lawrence helped plant trees, drain swamps, and build dams. Upon returning to Harlem, Lawrence once again immersed himself in art. He spent time at the Harlem Community Art Center, which was managed by the sculptor Augusta Savage. Being active in Harlem's art community brought Lawrence into contact with several notable artists of the Harlem Renaissance. Another local, Professor Seifert, recommended that Lawrence make use of Harlem's Schomburg Library to research the history and culture of the Black diaspora. The energy of day-to-day life in Harlem also inspired Lawrence. While Lawrence had spent his youth in the Northeast, his parents were from the South. They, along with millions of others, left the open hostility of the Jim Crow South in search of better opportunities in the North and West. This mass exodus would come to be known as the Great Migration, and Lawrence saw himself as a child of the mass movement. Lawrence combined the geometric style he'd been exploring with vibrant colors. He viewed himself as not just an artist, but also an educator. Lawrence used art as a conduit for expressing the experiences and feelings of Black people. He created several narrative series featuring important figures and events from Black history, a history that was not being taught in schools. Some of the series Lawrence created included multi-panel works about Toussaint Louverture, Frederick Douglass, and Harriet Tubman, but the most famous is arguably his Great Migration series. In preparation, he spent time gathering research at the library. At the time, World War II was underway, and many Black people were arriving in the North in search of wartime jobs. He spoke to his parents, family members, and others about their experiences. Lawrence combined this information with the visual style he developed over the years. What emerged was a 60-panel series that told the story of the Great Migration. Each painting depicts a different scene and was accompanied by a short description. Following its completion, the series was exhibited at the Downtown Gallery. This made Lawrence the first Black artist to be represented by a gallery in New York City. The series received magazine coverage and was ultimately purchased by the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA, and the Phillips Collection. The success of the series brought Lawrence national attention. He spent the rest of the decade serving in the Coast Guard after being drafted, began a college teaching career, and completed additional series about war and its aftermath with the assistance of grants and commissions. Unfortunately, his sudden success plunged Lawrence into a deep depression, and he voluntarily committed himself to a hospital where he received 1 year of treatment. Lawrence resumed painting and created several works about the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s. He also continued his work as an educator, teaching at various schools around the country. In 1941, Lawrence had married Gwendolyn Knight, another artist whom he'd known since his teens. Their marriage provided a strong support system for them both. They eventually relocated to Seattle, Washington, where Lawrence continued to paint until shortly before he died of cancer on June 9, 2000. Thanks for tuning in. Show notes and sources are available on the Noir Histoire website via the link in the episode description. I'm working on creating downloadables and infographics, so keep an eye on the website. These Black History Facts are released every Wednesday, so if you enjoyed this episode and want more, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and check out my Black History Facts playlist.